So this is Latte for Life. I'm going to be reading Mistakes. Yeah, it's length because I have a problem. Yeah, it's 11:30. Whoa. How could you let this mistake happen, Lance? That was Pidge. Idiot. Whoever thought it was a good idea to give someone like you a weapon? Like him a weapon? Keith. You weren't paying attention again? Alora. Someone get Shiro, quick. That was Pidge again. Lance trembled where he stood, eyes wide. His jaw was set. He stared at his best friend, Hunk, laid next to Corinne. The Altaian keeping watch on him and did what he could. The Yellow Paladin had been shot by none other than Lance's own Bayard gun. Lance had shot his best friend by accident. The team had just been training, nothing too serious. Target practice, then hand to hand. The Blue Paladin had been focused on hitting his mark, not even to notice when someone told him to wait. Didn't even see Hunk run out until he was already taking the shot. Lance had shot Hunk. There had been a uniform malfunction when Hunk was doing some hand-to-hand with Pidge, her little blade cutting through some material by accident. This hadn't been a big deal. Hunk just needed to go change, so all he could do was keep training with the correct protection. The man's side had been completely unprotected when he started across the room. Some would say it wasn't Lance's fault. Hunk should have known better than to cut across the room like that while others were using weapons and such. Archery practice. But everyone else had heard Corinne order to halt so Hunk could get by, except for Lance. So it was Lance's fault. And the shouts of his friends echoing in his ears confirmed that. Lance was so caught up in trying to make his mark to impress everyone, and because of that selfishness, his best friend was on the ground with his own life dwindling. How could Lance let that happen? How could he have been so... Shiro came running in, having been working with the Black Lion. What happened? Hunk, is he all right? He had gone to get Keith. Keith had gone to get the Black Paladin. In the must of giving a quick run through. Immediate before anyone said something, Shiro looked at Lance. Did you shoot him? Lance's blood ran cold. His armor was ripped. His armor was ripped. I used my blade at an angle, but tore his uniform. Corinne called for a halt while Hunk went to go change, but then Lance. Pidge trailed off, gnawing at her lip, and looked worriedly down at her injured partner. Alora finished for her. Lance wasn't listening when he shot when everyone else stopped. Hunk was hit with the blast, and now he's hurt. Lance's breathing caught in his throat. Something passed through Shiro's eyes, but Lance couldn't quite pinpoint what it was. Anger? Disappointment? Keith, Corinne, help me get him to the healing pod, Shiro instructed. Pidge, can you fix the armor while he's in there? Pidge nodded, eyes still wide and teary before running off to get supplies. Lance suddenly could speak, though it was a quiet, foreign voice. What? He swallowed, trying to get his words out. What can I do? Keith started to growl. You can. Keith helped Coran with Hunk. Shiro and the other two started to Hunk, lifting up the groaning paladin. Shiro didn't even look at Lance as he spoke towards him. Lance, how about you just stay away for a bit? Go to your bunk. Clean up here. I don't care. You've done enough harm. We don't need anything else to happen. And with that, they carried Hunk off, leaving Allura with Lance. Wow, dramatic. The blue-eyed boy turned to her, quickly, words spilling out. Please, I didn't mean for this to happen. I can help. What can I do? I'm so sorry. He tripped over his words, stuttering, desperate sounds escaping. Allura held up her hand, glaring, silenced. Lance, do as Shiro said. You should practice listening more. Lance deflated, watching her go with tears forming in his eyes. This wasn't supposed to happen. Guilt hit him like a train. Unfortunately for that, it was only a figure of speech. Anger, despair, hatred for his own self came flooding out of the boy impulsively. Hunk was hurt, maybe even dead or dying. His best friend in the entire universe. His only true friend. If the Yellow Paladin died, it would be his fault. Lance would have killed his Lance would have killed his best friend. He was going to lose his best friend, even if the others survived. Hunk was bound to completely despise him after this. Who wouldn't? He didn't blame anyone, though. Lance hated Lance, too. Lance the screw-up. Lance the idiot. Lance the seventh wheel. Lance the nothing. Call himself a sharpshooter? The title made him feel sick to his stomach. He didn't want to be the shooter of anything. He had shot his best friend. That thought kept running around in his mind, repeating itself over and over. He couldn't believe it, but of course he could. It only proved he was more useless than before. He shot his best friend out of recklessness and lack of paying attention. That was the Lance he knew and hated and loathed. So, of course, he could believe it. Besides, Lance expected no more of himself than to be a disappointment. Would you?